Director Katie Maple, Karina Talamontes, and Supervisor Hume. With that, would the clerk please take the roll?
Yes. Desmond?
Here.
Frost? Here. Guetta?
Here.
Hume? Kennedy?
Here.
Maple? Maple? Oh, sorry.
Here.
Rodriguez?
Here.
Sandu? Cerna?
Here.
Spees?
Here.
Talaminsa? Terry? Valenzuela? Oh, Terry, okay. Valenzuela?
Here.
Vang?
Here.
And Singh Allen.
Here.
And you have a quorum.
Excellent. Next up is our Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to ask our Vice Chair, Desmond, to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And would the clerk please read the announcements and instructions for public comment and how to view the meeting?
Yes. In compliance with directives of the County, State, and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the meeting is open to public attendance pursuant to health and safety guidelines. The practice of social distancing and wearing of face coverings is recommended for health and safety of all persons participating in person during the meeting, although it is not required. Seating is limited and available on a first-come, first-served basis. To make a public comment, please complete a speaker request form and hand it to the clerk, that's me, and the chairperson will call your name when it's your turn to make a comment. To make a telephone comment at today's meeting, dial 916-875-2500 and follow the prompts to be placed in queue for a specific agenda item or off-agenda matter. When the chair opens public comment for a specific agenda matter or off-agenda matter, callers will be transferred from the queue into the meeting to make a comment. Written comments are always accepted. Send your comment to boardclerk@saccounty.gov and your comment will be routed to the board and filed in the record. This meeting of the Sacramento Transportation Authority is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on Comcast, Consolidated Communications, and AT&T UVerse cable systems. This meeting is closed captioned and live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting will replay Sunday, January 15th at 2 p.m. on Channel 14. This meeting can also be viewed at youtube.com/Metro Cable 14. And that concludes my announcements.
All right, thank you for that. Our next item is our selection of chair and vice chair for calendar year 2023. And as is customary every January, the board will nominate and vote on a new chair and vice chair. But before we begin this item, I would like to ask our Executive Director, Kevin Busey, to provide some background.
Okay, thank you very much. So STA rules require that the board select a chair and a vice chair each calendar year. Any board member may serve as chair or vice chair with few exceptions. The chairmanship has traditionally alternated between a county supervisor and a city council member, and the city councils have also traditionally taken turns alternating between the city of Sacramento and one of the smaller cities. And we've provided in the staff report two tables, tables 1 and 2, that kind of provide the background on how that transition has occurred over time. Thanks, Bobby.
All right, thank you for that background information. And with that, I will use this executive privilege as chair and nominate our vice chair, Rich Desmond, to be the incoming chair.
Second.
All right, can we get a roll call for the chair position?
Yes. Sorry about that. Desmond?
Aye.
Frost? Aye. Guetta?
Aye.
Hume?
Aye.
Kennedy?
Aye.
Maple?
Aye.
Rodriguez?
Aye.
Sandu?
Aye.
Cerna?
Aye.
Spees?
Aye.
Talaminsa? Terry?
Aye.
Valenzuela?
Yes.
Vang?
Yes.
And Singh Allen.
Yes.
And your motion carries with Director Talaminsa.
You missed Director Maple.
Oh, Talamontes.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's Talamontes.
Talamontes. Okay.
And yes.
Did we get?
All right, and then your
Director
motion
Maple?
carries.
Okay.
I didn't hear Maple. But...
All right, very good. And next up is our vice chair. I would like to nominate Director Eric Guerra.
I'm
I'll
sorry, you
second.
cut out a bit there. Was that for Guetta for vice
I
chair?
would like to nominate Director Eric Guerra from Sacramento.
I'll second.
I got a second from Cerna in Chambers before I heard that one from Rodriguez.
Okay.
All right, and on to the roll call vote. Desmond?
Aye.
Frost?
Aye.
Guetta?
Aye.
Hume?
Aye.
Kennedy?
Aye.
Maple?
Aye.
Rodriguez?
Aye.
Sandu?
Aye.
Cerna?
Aye.
Speece?
Aye.
Talamenza?
Talamontes. Yeah.
Talamontes.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. I will get it right. I
That's
promise.
okay.
Talamontes.
Yes.
Okay. Terry?
Aye.
Valenzuela?
Yes.
And Vang.
Yes.
And your motion carries.
All right, very good. And with that, I just want to thank everyone for this past year. It's been a great privilege serving as your chair and getting to know some of you over the course of the year. Some great work took place, including the hiring of our new executive director, although it's not considered new anymore. But thank you again. I enjoyed myself and looking forward to continued work in collaboration with all of you. With
Bobby,
that, I'm
can
going
I
to turn over my duties to our new chair.
Bobby, can I just say a word? I just
Please.
want to thank you for your leadership with the STA this past year. You truly are an outstanding leader. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Director Rodriguez. I appreciate the kind words.
Well, thank you, Director Singh Allen, and appreciate your. It's been a pleasure working with you for the past year, and I also want to thank my fellow authority board members for supporting me to be your chair this year and joining you on the important work of the authority in 2023. So with that, we'll move on to item number 2, which is public comment. Items not on the agenda, so I'll look to our clerk. Do we have any public comments? Off-agenda public comment?
I do not have any here in Chambers, and I do not have any here in the phone queues. And I just wanted to also say for the record that there were no public comments for item number 1 as well.
Oh, thank you, Terrell. Appreciate that. Okay, well, then move on to item number 3. That's our executive director's report. I'll turn it over to Mr. Busey.
Okay, thanks very much. So today we have several new STA governing board members. The County of Sacramento's new representative is Supervisor Pat Hume. The City of Sacramento's new representatives are council members Katie Maple and Karina Talamontes. Please join me in welcoming our new STA governing board members. So staff has prepared new governing board member welcome packets, and we'll distribute those prior to the next STA board meeting. Going on to my second item here. So in-person meetings in March of 2023. So in October 17th, 2022, the governor announced that the COVID-19 state of emergency will end on February 28th of this year. So the STA governing board has been meeting either virtually or using a hybrid format during the proclaimed state of emergency as allowed under AB 361. With the end of the state of emergency, in-person meetings will begin in March of 2023. I just want to make sure everyone's aware of that. And that is my
Concludes
short,
your
that concludes
report.
my report.
Okay.
Thank you.
Saw my surprise there. That was very short and sweet.
Yeah. Well,
Ease into
Thank
it
you.
this year, Kevin, right? Yeah, okay. Well, I'll turn to my board members, see if anybody has any comments or questions of our executive director. Seeing none. Any online? Any hands
No, I
raised?
do not see any hand raises here in the Zoom.
Any public comment on
I
this
do
item?
not have any public comment in Chambers or in the call queue.
Okay, great. Then we'll move along to our consent items, items 4 through 6. Any any members have any comments or wish to remove an item from consent?
I'll move approval, Mr. Chair.
I'll second.
Okay.
So I have a first from Guetta, and was that a second from Rodriguez?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we have a first and second. Before we vote, I'll ask, are there any comments or questions from board members? Anyone online?
I do not have any public comment in Chambers or on the call queues.
Okay, any, Director, Director Hume.
I
has a
apologize. I
comment.
confused the chair by not using the request to speak button. I will
We
now
went over this the
I'll
other
clear
day.
my name
I
from
thought
the
we-
queue.
yeah, I thought we covered this.
Some people are
How
slow
long
on
is
the
it gonna
uptake.
take?
I'm a late bloomer, but I just wanted to say that I'm going to recuse. I would like a note of a recusal on item number 4, given that I was not at that meeting, but I'm happy to go along with the motion for items 5 and 6.
Okay. Thank you, Director Hume. Okay. Anyone else, Darrell, that you see in the queue?
No, I'm not seeing any other hand
Okay.
raises.
Any public comment on the consent items?
No, there is no public comment in chambers or on the phone queues.
Okay. Well, then we have a motion and a second. Please call the roll, with taking note that Director Hume will be recusing himself from item 4.
Yes. Desmond?
Aye.
Frost?
Aye.
Guetta?
Aye.
Hume?
Aye.
Kennedy?
Aye.
Maple?
Aye.
Rodriguez?
Aye.
Sandu? Sandu? Cerna?
Aye.
Singh Allen?
Aye.
Speece?
Aye.
Talamentes?
Aye.
Terry?
Aye.
Valenzuela?
Yes.
Vang?
Yes.
Sandu?
Aye.
Okay, and your motion carries with Director Hume recusing from item number 4.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on to item number 7, our update regarding anticipated items in 2023. Mr. Busey.
Okay, can you please put the PowerPoint up for item number 7, please?
Kevin Busey, Executive Director, here to present on anticipated major board items of 2023. I thought this would be a good opportunity to look ahead for the next 6 months. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and begin. Okay, this works. That's great. All right. So before I get into the next couple of months, I want to talk about existing agreements that we have in place that are going to be ending in June of 23, which is going to necessitate some further board action. So we have a variety of ongoing MOUs that are used for ongoing annual programs that's used to distribute our Measure A funds. These MOUs are used to formulaically allocate Measure A sales tax revenue on a monthly basis, and that represents about 80% of our funding. And so we need to get those MOUs back up and running again. They're typically for about 5 years, so we're going to another 5-year cycle. Along with that, we're going to be asking for some plans on how those funds are going to be used, and so I'll be presenting that here shortly. The other item we have is the neighborhood shuttle grant agreements. Those also expire in June of 23. Just as a reminder, we used about 10 years of accumulated funding plus the current few years of revenue through June of 23 to fund two programs, this SACRT Smart Ride program and then the Paratransit Moving Youth to Jobs program. So those two are funded, and we're going to be coming out with essentially a new grant cycle for those programs. So in February, what we're looking at is, I just talked about the neighborhood shuttle competitive funding. So what we're looking at is providing recommendations on how we would move forward with the schedule and approach for that. We've also got refinancing opportunities for our existing Measure A bonds. So Dustin's going to be presenting on a couple items after this, and it's going to talk about revenue and bonds. And there is the potential opportunity for some refinancing. So this is going to kind of set the framework for that future discussion in February should the market conditions get there. And then finally, the last item is a consideration of future transportation funding. So at that February meeting, I anticipate recommending the creation of a subcommittee to provide recommendations to the full board on whether or not we would want to, it's even practical to consider a new funding in 24 or beyond, what that might look like, and then as well as what will be the schedule and process for that. So we'd create a small subcommittee to look at that. And then I am looking at, with that subcommittee, having a couple of citizens involved in that, one on the environmental side and one on the labor side. So that will be my anticipated recommendation in February. Moving to March, I'm going to ask SACOG to make a presentation on the 2024 blueprint. And then we're going to start with our first set of ongoing MOUs. So we've got the Sac Metro Air Quality Management District. So they get their allocation of funding. So we're going to be asking them to present on their transportation-related air quality 5-year program. So we will have here's what we here's the 5 years of funding, and here's how we plan to use those funds. We've also got the Sac County Traffic Mitigation Fee Program, the Draft Nexus Study, and so that draft will come. We've been working on that, and we're in the process of updating that. And I realize it's a lot of information, but I kind of want to lay it out for you. So then we'll have our next set of ongoing MOUs. These are the MOUs with the county and the cities, so it'll cover, we'll include with that the traffic control and safety, the 5-year program, so how we're going to use those funds, how those counties, cities plan to use those funds. And then we'll also be doing a city, street, and road maintenance program annual report. So reports required every 2 years, and so what we've been doing is getting individual reports from the county and the cities. We're going to do a little different this year. We're going to do a consolidated report of the county and all the cities, looking at, what is the pavement condition within the county and the cities, what is the existing funding, what funding they get from other sources, as well as, what are some potential options if we wanted to get all the roads to a good paving condition. There'll probably be 3 alternatives looking at how can we get the roads to a really good condition. So I'm currently in the process of trying to get a small contract in place to do that study work. And then the final item I had is hopefully by April, you've already seen the draft Nexus study, so we'll hopefully be adopting that after hearing comments from the prior month. So May, so this is the ongoing MOUs for SAC-RT and paratransit. The reporting is SAC-RT will be providing a traffic congestion relief 5-year program showing how they're planning to use those funds. And then also senior disabled transportation funding, which is a separate little source of pot of funding. We'll be asking for 5-year programs from SAC-RT and paratransit. And then we have an update on the Smart Growth Incentive Program. So we essentially, the board took action to have a strategy to leverage our Smart Growth Incentive funds as a local match for the community design, SACOG's community design grant program. And so we anticipate by May we'll have an idea of how much of the awards of the community design program, and how much we were able to leverage. Anticipate in May we'll probably have neighborhood shuttle proposals in hand to present, and then we'll have a draft budget. Moving on to June. So in June, we'll have an update on Measure A advocacy and SB1 competitive programs. So there's a lot of SB1 competitive programs that the awards are going to happen in June. And we've been advocating for a variety of transportation projects, as well as we've applied for a couple of them. And so we'll end up presenting on the results of that. There'll be the budget adoption, which will accommodate any comments we saw in the prior month, and then the neighborhood shuttle agreements, which would, if we got any comments from the prior month on neighborhood shuttle proposals, will accommodate that. So a lot of information, high-level overview of what's coming. Open any questions.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Any questions from board members or comments? Anyone online? Terrell?
I do not have any public comment in chambers, and I don't have any in the phone queues. And I thought I saw a request to speak from Director Talamontes. Did you still want to speak?
Talamontes.
No, Talamontes. Okay, well, it's going to get you off of there. Perfect. And I don't see any hand raises in the Zoom.
I have a question for Kevin. I was going to make a quip, but I decided not to. Director Hume. But I had a question. We've been having a lot of discussions about the SAVSA funding and pursuing a legislative fix that will allow us to impose a fee to support the Abandoned Vehicle Storage Authority's efforts. Will you be coming back to us to the board with updates about that and maybe opportunities? At least have a discussion about whether this body might want to support a legislative effort.
Yeah, I can absolutely. I think I can come back in February with an update. I've been providing email updates to the chair and vice chair, but I can definitely do a more formal update in February. That's probably a good idea. Currently we've got an unbacked bill. We're looking for a sponsor, and if we can get that bill sponsored, we can restore the SAFSA funding through a few additional STA actions. So.
Which has a big impact. The end of that funding has a big impact to all of our respective jurisdictions. So I think we'd all appreciate that discussion. Thanks, Kevin. Any public comment on this, on the
No,
board?
there were no public comment in queue or in chambers.
Okay.
I have one.
Oh, Singh Allen?
Oh,
Sorry about that.
Chair
Yes,
Emeritus
just,
Singh Allen.
Chair, that's hilarious. So yes, and just based on the comments that our chair just provided, regarding the legislative fix. I do think that, I know that myself as the past chair and then and Chair Desmond, we've been privy to those conversations and the need, but I do think it's worthwhile to bring in the rest of the board because all of us will have different relationships with various members of the legislature. And if we go down that route, we will definitely need everyone's support and all hands on deck to take care of this very important issue. That's all.
Great point.
Thank you.
Bobby, thank you. Yeah, agree. Okay. Seeing no other comments, we will move on to item number 8, which is our 2024 revenue forecast. Mr. Purinton,
And
welcome.
if we can get the PowerPoint up for item number 8, please.
Am I pronouncing that right, Dustin?
Purinton, yes.
Purinton, okay.
All right, so good afternoon, board and board chair, and welcome to the new members. My name is Dustin Purinton, the accounting manager with STA, and I'm here to present the 2024 revenue projection. So the first slide here, we're going back in time to 2022 fiscal year, just to get a sense of where all the revenue lies. I'd like to note that Measure A sales tax is the most significant portion that we receive, and that the Sacramento Abandoned Vehicle Service Authority that we've been talking about sunsetted in April of 2022. So that funding will be dropping off in 2023. There's still some minor amounts coming in, but it's not going to be anywhere near what it was. The next slide is a tree map to show the significance of the revenues. The big gray swath is the Measure A sales tax, just to give you a visual representation of it. And in this slide, we're breaking down where does the Measure A sales tax go? Where does it flow through the authority? The most significant portion is the ongoing program. Kevin mentioned the MOUs that all of the partner agencies have. The MOUs facilitate the pass-through funding for the ongoing program. And the other large portion is the capital. And there's 2 subgroups to the capital program, the PAYGO projects, which are all contract-based, the citizen-approved initiative projects that we are contracted and paying for. And the other portion is the debt service. The debt service will increase in the 2029 fiscal year to a much larger portion of the whole pie because the large bond series are going to be, the principal payments are going to become due. So, and that's when we start paying down the larger the series. So this slide here represents the Measure A sales tax forecast from the beginning of the ordinance all the way through the sunset in 2039, with a red line in the middle showing where we're at today. So everything before the red line is history, actuals, and everything after is a projection from our third-party consultant, Avenue Muni Services, LLC, and they performed that in December of 2022. We have this routinely updated, so about every 6 months we get a new snapshot of where we're at, and if anything significant changes, we would let everyone know, and all the partner agencies. To highlight a few things on the graph that you've probably already noticed, fiscal year 2010, we had a decline. That was the Great Recession, and we've slowly recovered from that to 2020, where we were in the midst of the pandemic. There were some offsetting factors during the pandemic, so we did not have nearly as big of a decline as other counties, other areas. We have strong per capita income in Sacramento County, and it's been increasing over the last 10 years. We've had inflation that has increased prices for everything and increased the sales tax numbers. And the Wayfair decision came in late fiscal year 2019, and that's the taxation of Amazon and eBay and all the other e-tailers. So with that coming online, we've gotten a significant amount of revenue from that. And then the forecast out into the future, there is a forecasted recession in 2035. from our third-party consultants about every 10 years we should expect a recession. So it's really just built in. It's a projection. So this slide represents the impact fee program. And again, it's from inception to sunset in 2039. You can see it's very volatile. It changes dramatically from year to year just based on development in the areas. These fees are driven off of what I'd call a per door basis. So if there are new doors added, new homes, new apartments, new businesses, the fees are driven off of those new buildings. I'd like to say that the forecast is about $199 million over the life of the program, and the projected initial voter-approved expenditure plan was $488 million. So we're well under what was initially planned for this program. And the projection out into the future is based on projected development and planned land use and some other factors. We did have a third-party consultant prepare this for us. It was Economic and Planning Systems, and they did it in March of 2021. But in conclusion, I'd like to leave you with the revenue has been strong at STA, and it is increasing, and we can cover all current operating expenditures, and that these forecasts really help our partner agencies budget and plan out for the future. It assists with our bond portfolio. We're commonly asked to provide projections to support our funding. So with that, I'd like to open the floor to any questions that you have.
Okay. Thank you, Dustin. Any questions or comments from directors? Anyone online?
I do not see anyone in the Zoom with their
Director
hand
Frost.
I wonder if you can go back to that last slide. I was just wondering what the peak in 2034 to 2036 is attributed to.
Well, it was based on the projections that were performed by the consultant. So there may have been something that they gathered that showed a new development, possibly. I'm not exactly sure what the spike is, but it's forecasted out.
I think I could answer that. If I remember correctly, I think there was a very large hospital plan to be built around that time frame, and that was what was driving it. But we could go back and check and follow
I was just
up.
curious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, you can just email me or email or something. Thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry, Darrell. Did you say was there anyone online? I don't see any.
Yeah, no, I don't see any other hand raises in the Zoom.
Okay. How about any public comment?
There is none in chambers, and there's none in the call queues.
Okay. Just receive and file. Thank you very much. Or information only. Thank you very much, Dustin. And that'll take us to item number 9, and also featuring you, presentation of authority bonds.
All right. Well, so good afternoon again. So STA staff regularly work with our consulted financial advisors, and currently it's PFM financial advisors to assess market conditions and if there's any sort of cost savings available in our bond portfolio. And we have Peter Schellenberger online. He will be providing a little bit more detail. He's a managing director at PFM, and we've worked with him for a number of years, and most recently, he's helped us negotiate the 2009 C standby bond purchase agreement and the 2012 bond refinancing. So, and those both just recently happened this last year. So, I'm going to turn it over to Peter for his presentation.
Okay, and Peter is here in the Zoom, and then we're just going to get this PowerPoint up here in just a moment so you can begin with it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, there you go. There's your PowerPoint.
Thank you. And good afternoon, Chair Desmond and members of the board. Again, I'm Peter Schellenberger. I work with Public Financial Management, or PFM, financial advisors in our San Francisco office. And I look forward to being in person when you are. If I knew there would be that many bodies in chambers, I would be there with you today. But it's good to see that we're getting back to it. I've got, as Dustin pointed out, a quick market update. There's been a lot. 2022 was an active year across the equity markets and the bond markets. We'll focus on the bond markets, and then we'll look at the authority's debt portfolio within the market context and discuss some potential opportunities, and then take any questions that you might have. Thank you. We'll move to the first page with content. And here is an overview. This shows two yield curves. Forgive me, I know many folks have looked at interest rate curves, but I know some have not. So forgive me if I get too basic here. As we look at interest rates, we look at yield curves. Yield curves provide maturities on the bottom from year one to year 30. And this is the yield that investors receive for a tax-exempt bond, similar to the transportation authorities. And this has two yield curves. They reset every day. This is back in January 5th, 2022 compared to 2023, and just how much interest rates have gone up. They've, on the short end, a 1 year maturity, a bond that was maturing in 1 year. Investors were receiving 20 basis points or 0.2%. This time last year. Nowadays, with the increased rates, they're receiving 2.6% yield or rate of return. Short-term rates have gone up significantly with the Federal Open Market Committee, or the FOMC, increasing the Fed funds rate to combat inflation. So we've really seen short-term rates increase significantly. We've seen long-term rates go up as well. So this just demonstrates that we're no longer in the historically low interest rate environment. Rates have increased through 2022. They're beginning to stabilize. And we can look at the next page. We asked the question, just how did today's interest rates compare when we take a 30-year look back? How do they compare? And the question is, what percentage of time over that 30-year period have rates been lower than they are today? And in the short end of the curve, years 1 through 5, rates have been lower anywhere from about 50 to 65% of the time. So we're no longer in a historically low interest rate period at all on the short end of the yield curve. On the longer, when you look 10 years and out, rates have only been lower about 35% of the time when you look back 30 years. So even though we felt rates go up, long-term rates are still fairly attractive when you look and compare over the last 30 years. And we can look at the next page. This demonstrates, going back to 2016, if we look at tax-exempt rates, and we just track the 2-year rate over time, the 10-year rate, and a 30-year rate, what do we observe? A lot of squiggly lines. We observe a lot of squiggly lines, which is to say a great deal of volatility. There really just has not been a very predictable interest rate trajectory at all when we look back to 2016. We see the spike there in May of the pandemic, and that was a short-lived spike, and then rates came down. The FOMC, or the Federal Reserve, lowered rates as low as they possibly could, 0, and that brought that 2-year rate down pretty close to 0. And then inflation kicked in towards the end of 21 into 2022, and you could see the impacts of inflation and the monetary policy through the Federal Reserve. We're back in a fairly high interest rate environment. Although you look toward since October, now we're starting to see long-term rates trend back down. And so there's a feeling out there, if you read the articles, that inflation may have peaked, that the Federal Reserve may have taken all the necessary actions. They think there's one more to come, but we're starting to see some positive rate movement following that news, and some stability in the broader market. And we can look at the next page. That was looking at long-term rates, fixed rates. Here are short-term variable rates. And we have two rates to look at. Here is what we call SIFMA. It's an index, and SIFMA stands for the Securities Industry, the Financial Markets Association, SIFMA. What it tracks is a 7-day paper or bonds that reset weekly or every week. And the Transportation Authority does have weekly variable rate bonds. So we track those, And it also shows the Fed funds rate and how that was close to zero through the pandemic, and it's increased to about, currently it's pretty close to 4.5%. We show it topping off at 3% back in October. And so this is to show that the weekly variable rates have been following pace with the increases in the Fed funds rate. To no surprise, that's really what drives the broader short-term market, where the Fed funds rate, we're at 4.5%. And in a moment, we'll take a look at a couple other indices. So we could look at the next page. Thank you. What we track, or the industry tracks, is the amount of municipal bonds sold over the course of a year, just to take a look at supply and demand dynamics. So here is the supply of municipal bonds that have come to market and have been sold from 2016 annually through 2022. We list it monthly, and then on the bottom. In 2022, there was $384 billion of tax-exempt municipal debt sold into the market. You sold 24 million of refunding bonds in August of last year, so you're included in that number. You could see that that's a 20% drop from 2021, and really the average going back the last several years. So as interest rates have increased, we see naturally bond issuance decrease. So supply has come down. That's one side of the equation. The amount of federal funding that has been made available to state and local governments has helped reduce the need for borrowing as well. So that's really the two factors that has reduced the need to issue bonds or debt, higher interest rates and the amount of outside federal funding. Which is good when supply is down and you want to access the market as a highly rated issuer like yourselves. It's good to have less supply to compete with. And on the next slide, we could look at demand. Here's the demand. The folks, primary buyers of tax-exempt bonds are municipal bond funds managed by professional money fund managers. And when you see those green bars, we're getting net inflows coming into these municipal bond funds. We net increase in investor demand or dollars looking to purchase bonds like yours, sales tax revenue bonds. Through 2022, we have seen a lot of red. We've seen quite a bit as rates have increased. We have seen muni bond funds sell out of their position, largely to manage their overall rate of return. And so we have seen, even though on the prior slide, supply is down 20%, some of the money that's looking to invest in these is also coming down. So there's always an equilibrium. This is the other side of it. This is the demand side of the equation. And on the next slide, just a final slide in terms of the market, and then I'll pause. We borrow the crystal ball from Bloomberg, and Bloomberg surveys a group of economists that asks, where do you see rates going in the next couple of years? And here we break it out by current yields, the first quarter of 2023, where we are today, through the first quarter of 2025. And we pulled together these rates just a week ago or so. So looking at the 10-year Treasury, for instance, 3.78% is the 10-year Treasury. Well, just in the last 2 weeks, we've seen that drop 20 basis points. So we're now down at 3.58% at the 10-year Treasury. So we're starting to see some stability. We're starting to see some rates come down. Some positive news on sort of controlled inflation is being reflected in these rates. If you look at the trajectory, for instance, at the 10-year Treasury, most economists expect to see another rate hike from the Federal Reserve, increasing probably the Fed funds rate from this 4.5% to 5%. They expect the Fed to keep that fairly high through the rest of 2023 into 2024. With that, the 10-year Treasury sort of remains stable and then comes down, according to this forecast and prediction, in part because there is a forecasted and potential recession built into this. So one scenario is the Fed increases the Fed funds rate to 5%, holds it there. we're starting to see some softening in the economy. We enter into a recession, and then the Fed starts backing off and reducing the Fed funds rate, and you could track the Fed funds rate down below, topping off on the upper bound up to 5%, but by the end of 2024 down to 3.3. So that's a sort of recessionary scenario built into this forecast where the Fed controls inflation, we enter a recession, and they'll reduce rates thereafter. So that's what the experts are saying, at least. So with that, we're going to look at your debt portfolio, but I will pause just to see if you have any questions on the general market.
Any questions or comments? Peter, I think you said you were going to make this very basic, this presentation, but any comments or questions from board members? Anyone online at this point?
No, I don't see any hand raises in the Zoom.
Okay. Please proceed, Peter.
Thank you very much. Okay, looking at your debt portfolio in that context, slightly elevated rates, stable, likely to come down in the future. Where do you stand today? The authority has $342.5 million of bonds outstanding. You were just upgraded in August by S&P and Fitch, the two rating agencies that rate you to a AAA rating. So you're the highest possible rating. Congratulations, and that is reflective of your strong regional economy and a well-managed portfolio. $318 million of the debt is in variable rate demand bonds. It's the bonds that reset every week. Combined with those variable rate bonds is the table below. There's an equal amount, $318 million, of interest rate swaps, and those swaps match with the bonds, and they create a synthetic fixed rate. So rather than going up and down with the variable rate, the authority pays an interest rate of about 3.71% on that $318 million. The mark-to-market, those interest rate swaps have a market valuation. They change as interest rates go up, current market valuations. If the authority wanted to say, I'm tired of the swaps, I'd like to terminate and cancel those, you would have to pay the various counterparties, of which there are three, a total of about 37 million, to cancel those swaps to exit them altogether under current market conditions. That's a quick snapshot of your debt portfolio. We'll drill down into some additional detail, but we'll look at the annual payments on the next page. Annual debt service, principal and interest on that debt portfolio is on that second column to the right, total existing debt service. It'll be about $19 million through 2028. Most of that is associated with bonds that were issued in 2009. They've been refinanced a little bit in 2014 and 2015. So the 2009 Cs, the 2014 As, the 2015 As, those are all your variable rate debt, all of which was really issued in 2009 to advance projects back then. The 2012 bonds were refinanced in 2022 for savings. You saved about $2 million through 2028 by refinancing those last year. And the total is about $19 million of annual principal and interest through 2028, increasing to about $36 million thereafter, when the majority of the bonds start repaying principal. We look at debt service coverage, which is a simple ratio. When we look at your budgeted sales tax revenues for fiscal 2023, $164 million of sales tax revenue. It is all pledged to bondholders, even though they only need a portion of it. And when we compare that sales tax revenue without assuming any growth compared to the debt service obligation, you have, for instance, in 2024, $8.72 of sales tax revenue to pay every dollar of debt service. So anything over 2 times is considered very high. You're at 8 times, you drop down to 4.5 times when your bonds begin repaying in earnest in 2029. Very high debt service coverage. That's the primary factor for your AAA rating. I'll go to the next page. This just visually shows that. So I won't dwell on that. We can look at the next page. Now, chatting with Kevin and Dustin, they're getting up to speed, understanding the interest rate swaps. We know that there are some new folks on the board, and there's some complexity. So I'm going to try to move quickly. I appreciate your indulgence through 3 slides on interest rate swaps, just so you understand what we're talking about. And then we'll come back in the next several weeks to show some further analysis here. The first basic question is why use an interest rate swap? An interest rate swap, it locks in current interest rates for future issuance. So back in 2006, Sacramento Transportation Authority identified $318 million of future borrowing needs for projects that were going to be funded in 2009. The interest rate environment at the time was attractive. The only way to lock in interest rates in 2006 for bonds issued 3 years later was not in the fixed rate market. It had to be done in the interest rate swap market. And so the decision was made to issue interest rate swaps just to lock in those interest rates for future projects. And in doing so, provide budget certainty. So that's why folks use interest rate swaps, not to game the market, but really to provide some certainty for future issuance down the road. And we can look at the next page. An interest rate swap is an exchange of interest rates between two counterparties. You have STA, and you have three counterparties: Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, and JP Morgan. And the agreement is the authority will pay to these counterparties an average rate of 3.71%. And the bank counterparties will in turn pay a variable rate, a weekly variable rate back to the authority. So that's the swap contract simply establishes and locks in a fixed rate of 3.71%. The swap contract. Then we look at the next page. We marry that swap contract with actual bond issuance. The bonds are issued to raise proceeds for the project. And here we have the swap contract on the top. In that squiggly red line, the variable rate received by the authority, paid by the counterparty, that should equal the variable rate paid from the authority to bondholders. And it does. The amount that you've received over the last 12 plus years from counterparties has been sufficient to pay bondholders. And so you're really left with that 3.71%. Sort of a graphical way to show what we call synthetic fixed rate. So the interest rate swaps accomplish that, provided budget certainty. It locked in this rate of 3.71%. We look at the next page. There are additional fees to get to the total cost of that $318 million of your portfolio. So we've seen there's the 3.71% fixed rate. There are, we need remarketing agents, underwriting firms that remarket the variable rate bonds each week to bond investors. And thirdly, in the case that investors on any given week don't want to hold those bonds, don't want to purchase those bonds, we need to guarantee that they can put back those bonds. And so what the authority and every issuer like the authority does is pay a commercial bank for liquidity and a standby bond purchase agreement, such that when a case were to come up where investors did not want to purchase the authority's bonds, they are standing by, hence the standby, standing by to purchase those bonds, and they guarantee liquidity for a well-functioning market. That costs about 35 basis points, or 0.35%. So the fully loaded cost, the punchline, and I appreciate your indulgence, the fully loaded cost of those interest rate swaps is about 4.12%. 4.12%. Very high flyby on the portfolio with some depth on the interest rate swaps. We just thought that was good for context for new members. And this last page gives you just a look back and a look forward. Recent accomplishments, as I've noted, the refunding of the 2012 bonds last August to save about $2 million through 2028, about $380,000 annually. Your upgrade to AAA, so you're in very good standing, highest possible. Reflecting the strong sales tax growth, I mean, your sales tax growth from 2019 was 131 million, up to 173 million in 22. That's 31% growth. Has driven fundamentally your high credit rating. And then lastly, Kevin and Dustin have asked, and we're working collaboratively to see if there's a way to potentially save a few dollars and simplify the portfolio and reduce some of the interest rate swaps and fix those out. So we're going to come back in the weeks to come to share that analysis with you. So again, I appreciate you sitting through that presentation. I'm happy to take any questions.
Peter, thank you. I appreciate the presentation and reminding me why I was an English major in college. We have a few directors in the queue, so I'll start with Director Hume.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Peter, for that presentation. I know that the temptation for board members is to allow this type of a presentation translate into the teacher from the Charlie Brown cartoons, where it all just starts to sound the same. But this is important information for a couple of reasons. And in my first iteration on this board, the then executive director and I would often spar over the merits of pay-go versus debt service, because when you encumber a project with debt, it's about a 300% cost premium. And so like the old proverb that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. If you want that project quickly, you're going to be paying a lot more. And so you're going to be able to deliver fewer projects with the same amount of money. So it's an important consideration. And then when you get into kind of the two things that you went over in your presentation, both sort of the prudence from the investment side of things and watching that yield curve, because as we saw in your presentation, and I saw just the other day, where a 7-year yield was paying higher than a 10-year yield. And so you were actually losing money by letting them hold on to your money longer. And so it's important to watch that. And it looked like by your presentation that roughly second quarter of 24, that yield curve ought to flip to where going to longer term investments is actually going to make sense, because the shorter term yield is going to be lower than it is now, where it's actually paying better, or what's referred to as an inverse yield curve. But and then the final thing that I would just like to say is that the swapping of interest rates is an important consideration and can save considerable amounts of money and make the projects deliverable for less. And that there was one other point that I was going to make, and it's eluding me now. It had to do with that as well on the swapping. Oh, the penalties that you put up. That it basically, if we were to say no, we're done, we want our money back, we're actually going to have to pay $37 million to get our own money back. So these are all important considerations that you take into mind, as we're trying to squeeze the most out of these dollars. So appreciate the presentation.
Thank you, Director Hume. Director Frost.
Thank you. I'm curious. I've been reading that there might be some changes in how investors maybe decrease in interest in long-term bonds. Have you found that to be true?
Yeah, it's a good question. The types of investors like insurance corporations have these expected liabilities out long, and so they have to, as the underwriters put it, put their money to work, and they have to do it out long to satisfy some of those long-term liabilities. But to your point, even in a high inflationary environment here, if somebody's holding a 30-year AAA rated bond and you're a AAA rated entity, they're getting about 3.5, 3.7% annually. So there's and you could stay fairly short and still get about 80% of that. And so the tendency during this rising interest rate environment has been for investors to stay shorter and shorter, which is protective for them. They can let the interest rates rise. They won't get too burned if they stay short. And we've seen quite a bit of that. So we have seen the interest from investors stay sort of 10 years and in. And
so they are.
Yeah, there has been that phenomenon. Mm-hmm.
And so it impacts us. It's cost, correct?
It does. Yeah, it's worth remembering the sales tax goes through 2038. And here we are in 20. So the most you could issue is a 15-year issuance. So you're always going to stay until you extend Measure A. You're always going to stay 15 years or shorter. So you won't have to contend with a 16 through 30-year structure. So you're where you are in your program now is going to let you stay short. That's probably for the better.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other any comments or questions from board members online?
I do not see any hand raises in the Zoom.
Okay, I don't see anybody else here in chamber. But with all seriousness, thank you, Peter, and and Kevin for watching out for this and taking advantage of opportunities to restructure debt when it makes sense for us. And it is extremely important. And I know, Kevin, if any members here have any follow-up questions, would Peter be available to them to have some of these discussions?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to try to summarize the kind of the overall, if I could take 1 second. So, I mean, the reason why we put you through the 20-minute presentation was, we've got $320 million in debt. It's a synthetically fixed, it's variable rate debt that we synthetically fixed out. And what we're seeing in the market is the rates are getting to a point where the synthetically fixed rates are getting very close to the market fixed rates. And then we anticipate them dropping. So, there's a possibility of fixing them out and then refinancing later and saving money. Now, there's a cost to do that, but we wanted to get you prepared because we're kind of watching the market and see what happens. So we want to have this longer presentation because we could come back to you, say, hey, we want to refinance $320 million, and you'd be like, what? So this is that
Right.
first long presentation to hopefully get you up to speed. We're just watching it. We're not sure, but if the market does go how kind of we're thinking of it, there's a possibility that we could hopefully save some money in the long run. So that was my short version of his 20-minute
appreciate
presentation.
that. We may need to act quickly if that's the case, right? If that opportunity arises. Yeah. Okay. I appreciate that. Any public comment on this item?
We do not have any in chambers or any in the phone queue.
Okay. All right, then we'll move on to item 10, which is for comments of directors. Any comments from board members? Any in online?
I do
Darrell?
not see any in the Zoom.
Okay.
Hand raises.
Then that brings us to our final item for the public meeting. We are going to, will we have to reconvene in open session after the closed session? I'm looking at our council.
Technically, yes. Even if you don't take any action, we come back and say you didn't take any action. So,
Okay, the entire board or just the?
if someone comes back in and makes the announcement, that should
Okay.
be fine.
I'll do that for the authority. So thank you. That's it's part of the job. Okay. So with that, we will adjourn to closed session, and
Which is going to be in here in room 1, yes.
it will be in the
Here
board
in room
chambers?
1.
Room
No,
1. Okay,
here
right
in
outside.
room 1, yes.
Okay. With that, I will adjourn, or I'll recess.
And members that are on the Zoom, you can stay in the Zoom, and they will hear you in the hearing room 1, so don't worry about that. Metro Cable will be leaving, though.